The US Embassy in Tel Aviv suffered damage after Iranian missile strikes on the city. The embassy was closed on Monday following the attack. Several residential buildings in a densely populated area of Tel Aviv were destroyed in the attack that blew out windows of hotels and other nearby homes located just a few hundred meters from the US Embassy in the city. All right, joining me is my colleague Akshay Dongre. Akshay, what can you tell us about the evacuation of Indian students from Iran?
Well, a press statement has been issued by the Ministry of External Affairs, Ramesh, about the efforts that are being taken by the Indian government to ensure the safety of the students who have come from different parts of the country, who have rather gone to Iran to study various, things from the universities there. And that is a section of, our diaspora that is relatively new to the country, is not much aware about, how to travel or rather safeguard themselves in these kind of situations. So they usually are, a student group usually is first priority for government whenever there is instability in a country. So first step has been taken to ensure safeguarding the interests of the Indian community there by taking the Indian students to rather safer locations in the country, away from the major cities where most of these attacks are happening, including Tehran, the capital of Iran. And later on, other steps are being introduced, including setting up of a hotline, establishing help desks, and giving out lines to the people so that they can contact the embassy, and adequate help can be provided in time to the people who may or may who may get stuck in this entire chaos that has spread across the country there. So steps are being taken. Further steps will be taken if evacuations are required. We have seen this in the past as well. Whenever evacuations are required, a proper plan is set up, and then evacuation is launched to help people come out of the country wherever there is either a war happening or other kind of difficulties. But remembering our evacuation from Ukraine as well, the situation always gets very problematic. So before it reaches to that level, the government has already started to take, or rather initiate, steps to ensure the safeguarding of the student community, followed by other communities, and whosoever requires help as far as the Indian diaspora is concerned, in both Israel as well as Iran.
And very quickly, if you will, Akshay, what has India's stand been on the Iran-Israel hostilities? What has New Delhi been saying in the past few days?
Well, Prime Minister has time and again reiterated that this is not an era of war. As far as the tension between the two countries are concerned, they both are allies of India. With both the nations, India has had very good relations, and they have bilateral strong ties with India too. So that places India in a very unique category, as opposed to countries such as US that doesn't have good contacts with or other communications with the Iranian side, or China, for example, who may or may not have good relations with Israel. So everything is now all the eyes across the world is also on India, that what stand it takes, because geographically speaking as well, India is much closer to Iran, and in this entire conflict. So it also includes India as a region which can have, which can see collateral of this entire conflict. So Indian statement or anything that Prime Minister says is being heard. Prime Minister has reiterated to go back to the diplomacy and dialogue table, and India has been a proponent of peace and has reiterated that a peaceful solution can still be found as far as this conflict is concerned. However, we are hoping for the best, but are preparing for the worst. Back to you, Ramesh.
Right, will you there, Akshay? Thank you, Akshay Dongre, reporting there from New Delhi.